Hello guys, this is going to be the next video in my custom variation guide series for Mortal Kombat 11. And now we're going to be taking a look at Noob Saibot. I play this character a decent amount. I consider him one of my top 5 characters that I play. And I've created this variation here for what I think is actually most competitively viable and actually best for Noob Saibot. Now, I'm going to show off another variation for fun, as I typically do, and I think a lot of people are going to figure out that one, and that is the 2 launchers in one variation. A lot of people want to do Sickle Snag, plus the Teleport Enhance, plus Slide for safety. But there's some issues with that variation. It costs too much meter. You're constantly trying to do double meter combos, and you're trying to use meter for safety. Now, I created a kind of up-close and personal sort of brawler-type Noob Saibot that uses both launchers. I believe many other people have come up with the same thing, but I ended up giving him a different special move for safety. And we'll go over that afterwards, but I actually still don't think that's Noob Saibot's best variation. I think Noob's best variation is going to be the Slide, of course, for safety, as well as loading his Crushing Blow off of Shadow. So if you enhance Shadow... I don't know why I can't get the Crushing Blow. There we go. If you enhance Shadow, you get a 30% Crushing Blow. The requirement is, of course, that you need to hit the opponent with a whopping 10 Shadows before the move will Crushing Blow. And so, the issue with this is in, say, Black Sabbath, where you had the Teleport Launcher, which I believe is the better of his 2 launchers for a couple of reasons. You're trying to hit people with a lot of Shadows, which is a pretty slow projectile, and your better projectile is already Spirit Ball. So, it's a pretty high demand to ask to land 10 of these in order to get that Crushing Blow. The Slide makes this really easy. And you're going to be using Slide a lot in the neutral. It's a good low projectile. It's fast. And it's great for safety. It will hit people trying to press on staggers where you throw it in to keep yourself safe when they weren't expecting it. So, the first move is obviously Slide, for all of the reasons that it makes Noob Saibot great. I love doing combos with Noob Saibot. I think that he has some of the most fun combos in Mortal Kombat 11. But I ended up playing Seeing Double Noob Saibot, actually. His more MK9 variation, just for the safety and mix. I air quotes mix, it's not real mix. Just for the stagger pressure is a better way of putting it, that Slide gives you. Especially online. So... basically, I ended up playing a variation that didn't really have combos just because I thought this move was so great. So this one's an obvious pick. The second pick, I think, is Spirit Ball, because it gives you better zoning mid-screen besides just the tackle. So you have a mid-tackle, you have a low slide, and you have this super fast, ridiculously good... Again, my D-pad is fucked up, so it makes doing back forwards very, very hard to do. I need to buy myself a new pad, because mine is starting to wear down. I was hoping to make it work until I could get a PlayStation 5, honestly. So, you have this fantastic zoning, some fantastic kind of neutral control with these 3 moves, which is exactly what Noob Saibot wants to do. He wants to control the neutral, he wants to have a little bit of zoning in his kit, make the opponent work their way in, and then he can get big damage off of punishes or whiffed buttons, etc. So Spirit Ball really allows him to play his game here. It also gives us a nice restand whenever you can land back 1, 1+3. Whenever you do this in a combo, you can hit them with Spirit Ball, and it gives you a +5 restand almost directly in their face, which allows Noob to get some pressure going. Which I'll show that off in a bit. And then finally, obviously, I included one of his 2 launchers, and I chose Enhanced Teleport, because Enhanced Teleport allows for better combos, in my opinion, by itself. You cannot cancel off of, teleport cancel off of one of his better strings, which is forward 2, 2, 1. You have to either use Shadow, or, in this case, Slide, which is another reason why I picked that. but you still get appreciable damage if you want to spend a bar on slide off of forward 2, 1, 2. If you do slide off of this, enhance, you're getting almost 25% for that, and you're loading up your Shadow Tackle Crushing Blow. So it still allows you to use this string a lot, even though you're not getting full combos off of it. And then off of everything else, including your best standing Punisher, like 113, you're getting massive damage. So here's some combos. This first one is just your basic kind of B&B off of your standing Punish. You can whiff the first hit of the string of 113 in order to get a follow-up back 1, 1 plus 3, which is why I like this combo extender. And if you want to end it with another teleport for damage, you get almost 40%, 39.7. And then, if you are interested in getting that restand we talked about, you get almost the same damage. Here, we're going to restand with Spirit Ball. How? And now we're at +5 in their face for only 38.6, which is still amazing damage. That's for 1 bar, 38. And then, if you want to, like, use 2 bars, you can still use 2 bars. We can use 2 bars here. We're going to use Shadow Slide. And we're getting 43, and we're loading up our Shadow Tackle Crushing Blow. So the options here are just great, and it only costs you 1 bar off of this teleport enhance, which is why I think it's actually better than Sickle Snag. And because you're only doing 1 bar combos, you can save a bar, unless you're choosing to do a 2 bar combo, for some specific reason. You can save your bars to use on slide enhances, to use on block to make yourself safe. So normally, 113, for example, is -8 on block, punishable by a 7-frame move, and you can just... I should make him block all. That would be better. You can just do slide here, and there's no gap. It's -8 with this much pushback. You can make yourself safe. A lot of characters will still be able to do a long-range button and pressure you, so you can't really, like, shimmy them or anything. Some characters will have a harder time dashing up and hitting you, so sometimes you can, like, micro-dash backwards into, like, back 1 and play some stupid gimmicks. It's gimmicky, but it can work online especially. And what this causes is a situation, where the opponent expects you to cancel into slide. So instead of canceling into slide, you can just do this and then block and save yourself meter if you need to. You can just do 1-1 backdash and sort of get out for free, because not only are you staggering this, they're also looking out for this. And in some scenarios, you can do something that's less minus, like this, and go for a grab off of it, therefore. Of course, another big winner is forward 2-2. If you do forward 2-2 into slide enhance, they ain't getting in on you. This is -8, but with massive pushback, and this basically is just a get-out-of-jail-free reset neutral card. Now, forward 2-2 is already pretty good at -6 here, but they can kind of use long-range buttons to pressure you afterwards, because you are -6. Whereas this kind of guarantees that you're going to be good to go. On top of that, of course, you could always do forward 2-2-1, and then, you know, they might get hit by that sometimes because they're not expecting it. You can do that into slide, even though you're set a little bit closer. And of course, because this is only -3, this string especially, if they block this and it's only -3, and they're expecting slide, you can sometimes catch an opponent sleeping and just grab them afterwards. It's a good player will just duck it or hit you because they can see the difference in the timing, but the timing is so... It's only such a short timing pause between when you would normally slide or stagger it and grab, that if you catch a person online, for example, sleeping at the wheel, maybe the connection's a little laggy, this, again, is a gimmick, but it can work. I've won plenty of matches because people were not able to react in time to me not doing slide enhance, because I had done it so much over the course of a match that they were conditioned to just expect me to do it. So it's definitely something that is worth noting, even though I wouldn't rely on winning that way. It's not a concrete strategy. I just feel like the main use of slide is the safety. It definitely strengthens your staggers. and it gives you a great projectile mid-screen. It lets you load up the Crushing Blow, like I mentioned, for Shadow Tackle. Each Shadow that you create on Enhance gives you 1 Shadow, so you're hitting 2 with 1 Enhance. The restand potential and zoning potential off of Spirit Ball is fantastic, and of course, this launcher gives you fantastic damage. All around, I feel like this is Noob Saibot's best variation, but we'll show off one more just for fun. Okay, so this is the second variation, and this is the one I feel like most people will be playing, because a lot of people were playing this in casuals. And this one, of course, has Sickle Snag, Shadow Strike, and Teleslam. So you get both of your launchers in one variation, which allows you to do some pretty meaty combos. You can do things like this, for example. I don't even think this is optimal, but 42% there for 2 bars, that is not bad at all. You can get some pretty ridiculous damage off of basically any starter, and that's the primary thing that you're going to want to pick this variation for, is crazy damage off of anything, and swag combos. If you're someone who likes swag combos, this is a character for you. However, we're going to suffer a lot more in the way of safety. So I do have a move here to help with that. We do have Shadow Strike. And what's interesting about this move is it's kind of like Noob's down 3 if the down 3 was performed by his Shadow Clone. As you can see, it's kind of the same move, but just his Shadow Clone comes out of him and does it instead. So this has slight pushback and is only -6, so you are effectively safe off of this, and it's free. You don't have to spend bar. You might be wondering, well, you have to spend bar for Shadow Slide to be safe, so what's the gimmick with Shadow Strike? Well, there is a flawless block gap. If you do this in any string, there is a flawless block gap. They can flawless block and punish you. And it creates a lot less space than Shadow Slide would, even though it's more safe on block. So it's more easy for the opponent to try to pressure you with long-range buttons. And you're always taking the risk they might flawless block you and punish you for it. However, this does create the same kind of mind game where you could technically get better staggers off of this, because they might be expecting you to do this, and then you don't do it. And because it is a flawless blockable move, unlike Shadow Slide, there might be situations where you, say, do 1-1-3, and then slide, or 4-2-2-1, and then slide, or strike, excuse me, not slide, Shadow Strike. And if the opponent is, you know they're going to try to flawless block it. They have the timing down, they've been flawless blocking, they go for it. You could catch them by just grabbing. And that'll actually work better than Shadow Slide, because the opponent will be trying to block. They'll be trying to flawless block, and obviously that will cause them to get grabbed, because you'll catch them trying to flawless block. So there's definitely some potential there. It does give you safety. There's still a kind of stagger game there, but it's a lot weaker and a lot more risky than Shadow Slide. You also lose out on your mid-screen presence almost entirely. The only projectile you're going to have is Shadow Strike, or Shadow Tackle, excuse me. And this is very hard for Noob. You can teleport to get in, but that's very reactable, very easy to punish. You don't have air teleport, you don't have anything really to get in at all, so you're gonna hurt a lot from here. This Noob is meant to be played more around start distance, up close, get your opponent in the corner and mix them kind of thing, which is not, I would say, Noob's strong suit as far as his base kit goes. So this is definitely harder to play in a more competitive sense. If you're looking to win. This one's a lot more fun to play, and having Shadow Strike gives you safety with your combos without having to spend bars, so you can keep your bar for your 2-bar combos, your swag combos, so to speak. But it's definitely not as consistent. I think both variations are fun. I definitely think the first one is better. But that's it for Noob Saibot. I love customs with Noob Saibot. I think that customs improved this character by a lot. I enjoy playing both of these variations a lot, and I hope that somebody else will too, in case maybe you didn't think of this. I feel like Noob's options were a little bit more obvious than some. But yeah, I absolutely love this character and these variations for this character. I'm so glad to be able to use these in ranked matches now. But stay tuned, we'll be moving on to other characters soon. Not sure who I'm going to cover next, but more custom guides for Mortal Kombat 11 Ultimate coming out.